What's up, Senators fam? Lion here, coming at you with a live attack replay for our Day 7 in the CWL. We're going against the Warmongers, and you can see I'm scouting out base 15, Steve's base, and it is a quad. Quad bases are something that we've come up against pretty often. We have seen miners go good against it, we have seen hogs go good against it, and so I want to show you my plan for what to do against this quadrant base. Looking at it, we can see that all of the value around the town hall is the eagle artillery, the queen, the clan castle, and the king. And so he's opted to put the EA and his heroes next to it instead of other defenses. And so instead of getting a compartment on its own, the eagle artillery is in the middle, and the inner compartments are taken up by 2 expos apiece and then 2 inferno towers. And so breaking down just where the value is, that is how this base is set up. And then like every other quadrant base, a lot of defenses are around the sides, with the air defenses being tucked in just a little bit on the insides. But looking at this, anytime you see a base that has 2 single targeting infernos, a good option that you can think of is Dragbat. And so seeing that these are 2 single targeting infernos, seeing how much space there is, and so land troops, especially ones that would have to go through walls, might have a hard time getting through into the quadrants, and then pathing can also be pretty difficult. And so I think Dragbat can do pretty well with this. I think the bats will have no problem at all going in and out between the compartments and through the different quadrants. The reason why I think Dragbat also works for this one is if you are ever considering Dragbat, you really want to figure out where the wizard towers are in relation to each other. And so we see kind of a line of wizard towers running through the middle of the base from that like 9:30 to the 4 o'clock line, kind of running through the base there, and then one of them is hidden behind the attack button as kind of the stray one off to the side. But with that stray one down there, we can see that this bottom side of the base has 3 wizard towers to it, and then the back side of the base only has the 2, and then they're kind of in the middle. And so if we were to attack from the bottom, we can deal with those wizard towers pretty quickly. But then as we are looking at that, we realize we don't want to do that because most importantly for air attacks, we can see where the sweepers are pointing, and they are both pointing downwards. And that can be pretty scary, especially for something like Dragbat that doesn't have a ton of rage spells to help the dragons push through the base. And so we are definitely going to attack from the top half of this base, make sure that we don't touch the sweepers, make sure that the eagle artillery is dealt with pretty early on, and then we should be able to push through the base just fine. And so looking at this top half of the base in particular, it's a little bit cut off with the screenshot, but we can see some very high hit point buildings over here. And so we're going to drop our electro drag. It'll be in range of this expo, but out of range of the expo next to it. And so it should be able to funnel off hopefully a good chunk of everything down there before it goes down. And then we will drop both our heroes on this side of the base, and they should be able to, in theory, work through and take out that good chunk of the base too. So then we've got just the middle compartment, or not middle compartment, but we just have the middle side here left. We can drop in all of our coconut balloons, probably 3 of them right there, followed by all of our dragons, our warden, and our stone slammer. In theory, the stone slammer should path straight into the middle if it is dropped right on the front of it, and then the wizard tower and cannon are taken out with relative speed. Then the stone slammer can go straight towards the middle. If it veers off to either side, it's not a huge deal. We'll have 2 rage spells to make sure that our dragons and our balloons can get in past that. And then I want to bring us to a screenshot that looks at kind of the bottom side of the base to show where the bats are going through. So looking at the bottom side of the base a little bit more closely, we can see there's 1 wizard tower here, and then the other 2 wizard towers are in the middle part of this base. And so with that one there, we will drop a freeze over top of it, and we'll drop all of our bats. And so our bats will kind of go from this wizard tower to the archer tower to the bomb, and they will kind of start to go around the base a little bit. as they get close to the wizard, and some of them will probably split off into the Expos, and that's okay. As they get close to these wizard towers, we have 2 more freeze spells to be able to drop onto them to make sure that they don't mess up the bats, and then they'll be able to go towards the Inferno and then clean up everything around here defense-wise. Bring in some minions. With quad bases in particular, it's super important that you have cleanup troops, so we're bringing in some minions to make sure that that gets taken care of. But that's the plan. Hopefully it'll go according to plan. If not, that'll be okay too, and we will improvise kind of on the spot. But we'll hop into the live replay, and I'll show you guys as I'm dropping the troops exactly what I'm thinking, and hopefully show you guys the 3-star. So let's get going. All right, hopping into the actual CWL, you can see that we are 3 stars ahead despite being 4 attacks behind. So we've definitely won this one. Just to go into the recap, we are so far ahead. I don't think there is a way to not get first place, not promote. But we are still taking every attack seriously. Every star counts. And so going in on Steve, scouting base one more time, making sure it is the right one. Sweepers pointing down. Wizard towers where they are, and let's go ahead and get this done. Hit an attack, making sure we have all of our troops. We've got 10 balloons, we've got 5 minions for cleanup, we've got a baby dragon to make sure our heroes go the direction that they're supposed to go in. We've got 3 freeze spells for the 3 wizard towers. We've got 6 bat spells. Remember to take bats in your clan castle because of the donation level up. You don't need it for rages at Town Hall 10 or 11 since you've got max rages on your own, but the level up is really nice for the bats. And then while I usually take balloons in the Stone Slammer, 7 balloons at Town Hall 11, we are trying to get our Slammer to go in down the middle, and because this is CWL and it is so important to get that Town Hall, we're bringing a dragon in the Slammer, just so that if it pops around here and for whatever reason something goes poorly, we do still have something that will target the Town Hall once we get there. So everything is in order. We are good to go. 3, 2, 1, going in. All right, gonna drop the E-Drag first because it is pretty slow. We're gonna drop a coconut balloon to make sure there are no mines, and then the E-Drag will go in right there. We will drop our king to pull aggro from that archer tower, and then a baby dragon above it, and then the queen is going to go behind the king, make sure they're all doing their jobs. The E-Drag's getting in good bounces and already has created the funnel. We're going to pop that king ability pretty early. He's going to go up top, but that's okay. Wanted to make sure the single targeting Inferno targeted the barbarians before they targeted the king himself. We're going to go ahead with our coconut balloons, and our dragon deployment had to pop the queen ability pretty quickly while I was doing all of that, but that's okay. Everything's going right in this channel. So we're going to go ahead and drop a rage and pop the warden ability while every troop is still inside of it. We're caught in that tornado trap, so we're going to hold off on the second rage until that is done. Now the second rage comes up, and it is bat time. I'm going to drop them all, give them a second, freeze the wizard tower. There goes wizard tower 1. They're going around, just like I thought. I'm going to stay with this main pack of them. The main pack are going to the Expos, so I'm going to hold off on my freezes until those are taken care of. Man. I'm going to go ahead and freeze both the AD and the Wizard Tower so that my dragons stay pretty healthy. Freeze them again. Oh, I was trying to get the Wizard Tower and the Archer Tower too, and I missed out. I'm going to drop some cleanup minions around to make sure that those are getting taken care of. And it looks like we are going to come up just short on this base. I don't think we will be able to make it all the way into that single target Inferno. My bats split up just a little bit too much on that southern quadrant, and the two Expos right next to each other were able to take down the bats a little bit faster than they were able to work. But I'm going to drop in that minion, hopefully the Inferno Tower. Oh, dropped it a little bit early. I was hoping that that it would make it there in about the same time as the dragons, but those other two minions are going in, given that one dragon. Oh, and it looks like it will be a 3-star. What a pleasant surprise. I did not think that many dragons lived through the attack, but that was a little bit spooky, because anytime you're doing a Dragbat, you want your bats to be alive for the cleanup at the end. We'll go ahead and watch the replay on that really quickly and just make sure we can see what went wrong with the bats. We'll watch it pretty quick here as the E-Drag is funneling that Tesla was taken out just fine with our heroes. We'll bring it into normal time now that the main army is going through. Everything's going about the way that I expected at that point. First rage. Oh, forgive me, I've got a new puppy, and she has decided that now is the time that she wants to play. That's what the crashing was in the background. We're going to bring this to half speed. And so the Ice Golem in the defensive CC freezes my main army so that they don't push as fast as I thought that they would have to take the aggro from the Expos. And so that's the first part that goes wrong. And then I probably shouldn't have been so greedy on my freezes. I probably should have used at least one freeze on the Expos as that clump was getting to them in the first place. I think that would have kept enough of my bats alive to be working through that. Oh, but that's what it is. When half of them split to that archer tower and the other half split to the Expo, and I didn't commit a freeze to either chunk, was when I just kind of let all of my bats die out and then didn't get great value from my freezes afterwards. That freeze gets pretty decent value. And then that one could have done a little bit better if I didn't miss. But that is the point of choosing a good strategy for the base, is that even if something goes wrong, one component goes wrong, if it is a good strategy for that base design, you should still have enough power left over at the end to take care of it, which is coincidentally exactly what happened, even though I doubted myself for just a second. So that is how you can get a 3-star with a Dragbat on a quadrant base. You do need the single targeting Infernos, and both of the sweepers pointing down was pretty helpful. But I hope this video helped you guys out. If you're considering doing Dragbat sometime soon, let me know. We'll run some FCs together. If you are not in Senators, feel free to apply to join. We've got a link to our Discord in the description. And if you are part of the family, be sure to like and subscribe, and make sure that you tell your friends so that our channel grows just a little bit. But that's Senators. I'm Lion, and we'll see you guys in the next video.